What's going on, people? You know who it is. You know what it is. CP3 live from the lab. Week 16. Commanders loss drops to 7-7-1, 37-20 to the 49ers, who go to 11-4. It was the first half was very good football. Tied at 7-7 going into the half. The team played well, forced a turnover, got a touchdown at the end of the half to tie it up, to lead up to hopefully a good second half. And unfortunately, the 49ers made adjustments and don't look like the Commanders made enough adjustments. This was, I can't even say it was disappointing, because the 49ers are the number one ranked defensive team in the league. They have a diverse offense, but a simple offense. Kyle has learned what Scott needs to learn and stick with what works. He has a set number of plays that he uses in different formation, but he uses the same plays. And that's why they're so effective, because they might not have a big playbook, but what they do very well. And we saw that today. I mean, their numbers weren't explosive, but they produced and they executed when they needed to. That was the difference to me in this game. Execution and missed opportunities, as Coach talked about in his press conference. We missed the opportunities and they executed on opportunities, and that was the difference in this game. Like I said, they did score a touchdown off of the turnover, which is a good sign, especially against a quality defense. That's why I say there are some bright spots that you can look at, being that they went up against this top-ranked defense who hadn't given up more than 17 points in 7 games, put 20 on them, hadn't given up more than 70 yards rushing. We got 79. Had some luck rushing. A couple of good runs got negated by penalties. They got 153 yards rushing, but that 71-yard run that, I can't remember the guy's name, that he broke for the 71-yard run, that to me was the momentum swing and the difference of the game, because if you have to recall, that was right after the goal line stand that the 49ers had with us on the 1-yard line, and they weren't able to get in, and then they turn right around and get a 99-yard drive with a 71-yard run. And like I said, I'm not going to talk about the refereeing, but I'm amazed at how they can see the holds on the Commanders and not see the holds on the other team. That's kind of throwing me off, because I rewind it and clearly see the hold right there, but they don't call it. So, but as I always say, I'm not going to blame the refs. They got to play better. They got to execute. And 49ers are a better team. So, a lot of folks are upset, complaining, whining. 49ers are a quality team. Even somebody called the team a bum. The hottest team in the league that just won 8 in a row, haven't given up more than 17 points except for the last 7 games, and, have a quality offense, but they're bums. Like I told them, you need to get your life right. But on the bright side, even with the loss, the Commanders still maintain the number 7 spot in the playoffs, because Seattle and Detroit both lost today, along with the Giants, and the Eagles just lost. So the Cowboys beat the Eagles and are still in running for the division title. The Giants are still alive in the playoff chase, and so are we. So it's still a shot that all 4 NFC East teams will make the playoffs. We have the Browns and the Cowboys for the last 2 games of the season, and those 2 games are winnable. Question is, as I haven't said anything about yet, that Taylor Heineke was benched and Carson was brought in. Coach just said it's not set who's the starter going to be. They're going to look at things through the week. Some folks think that he's going to go with Carson no matter what. You paid for him. We saw what Heineke did for the 8 games that he was in. He played well. He sparked the offense. Now, hopefully Carson can build off of that when he got the chance to sit back and see it. And maybe he can, maybe the light came on for him. We saw today He looked good calling plays, but he's still holding the ball too long. Granted, the 49ers defense was blitzing and, is a monster. But, yeah, he has to get rid of the ball quicker. But Heineke has to also. But that's going to be the question mark going into Cleveland, game next week versus Cleveland. Not in Cleveland because the last 2 games are home. Some of the storylines. Chase Young's return. That's going to talk about one of the bright spots. He was supposed to play between 12 and 16 snaps, and he played well more snaps than that. He was feeling good. Coach said that they asked him throughout the game how he was feeling and told him to be honest with him, and he said he felt good. That's why he was still playing in the fourth quarter. So, it's going to hopefully, he can continue on the progression, and if and when this team makes a playoff, he'll be able to get in there and make some impact plays. We saw today he made a couple of plays, batted ball, was disciplined in one of his assignments to shut down the screen, play to McCaffrey. Almost had a sack a couple of times. Almost, on that batted ball, could have turned into an interception if he could have located it in the air. So, yeah, it's good to see him out there trusting his knee. They said he was in good condition, good shape. He just had to have the confidence in the knee after he, after the surgery. And I made this point to somebody that, it was his first injury in his whole career playing ball. So, you got to have that confidence to go out there and play. Because if you hesitate playing, not sure, that's how you definitely want to re-injure yourself. So I'm glad that they held him out as long as they did. He came out there, played well, played more snaps than, they thought he was going to play. Had, some impact on the game. So that's a good sign going forward. Like I said, there are some bright spots you can look at. Definitely want to talk about Cam Curl being out. I think that's what led to George Kittle going off like he did. Because trust me, I didn't watch him all season because he's my fantasy football tight end. And last week he had a 2-touchdown reception game. And this week he had over 100 yards in a two-touchdown reception game. But before that, I think the most yards he had was like 70. So I think with Cam Curl being out, that really hurt their coverage because we haven't got exploited by a tight end all season to the degree of what Kittle did today. So with that, you see the impact of Cam Curl. Derek Forrest, I love him, but he's not Cam Curl. Cam Curl used to be a cornerback and converted to safety, so he sees things differently. He has, better speed than Forrest. I think he would have matched up better with Kittle. That was actually a matchup I wanted to see, but being that Curl had the ankle injury and, couldn't get to, comfortable enough to play, Kittle had the game that he had. I think he had, 6 catches? What was it? 6 catches, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, I think that 71-yard run and Kittle, being able to get loose in the second half were the determining factors in this game. A lot of folks going to, talk about other things. The play calling, complaining about the run, pass. Against this defense, you have to run the ball. If you just drop back and trying to throw with Bosa playing the way he plays and their defensive line playing the way they plays and their linebackers playing the way they play, you're playing into their hands. And folks complain about the offensive line. Injuries happen. Nobody complained that we were on our 5th starting center of the season. We're coming into the year, as I've stated over and over again, they had the 6th rated line in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus. So they addressed it. They got some new guards. They drafted some players that's developing. But you can't account for injuries. And, you can't account for it being on your 5th center in the season. So folks can complain about the O-line and saying that they need to, how come they haven't been rebuilding and yada, yada, yada. Injuries. And then you're going up against the top-rated defense. That's something like nobody's giving the 49ers credit at all. They're the top-rated defense for a reason. They're good. They play solid, fundamental, hard-hitting defense. And you just saw it for 60 minutes. So I don't understand how folks can't see that the other team gets played too. The other team has talent too. It isn't always about, our team sucks. Sometimes the other team is better than our team. I know being a fan, you don't want to hear that, but simply, that's what it is. What's up, Brian? What's up, Allison? What's up, Tanya? Appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm watching the press conferences of the players on right now. What's up, Brian? Said actually, you need balance. They are great against the run. Also, I thought the balance was okay, but question some of the short yardage plays. I really don't question the plays. I just question the personnel on that 4th and 1. Why not give it to Robinson, who always falls forward and goes into the pile and moves the pile? But he went with Gibson. Or on the 4th down on the 30. I understand the quarterback sneak, but when you're doing short yardage and you got your quarterback in shotgun with the running back, why don't you line him in the center and give it to B-Rob up the middle or Williams up the middle? You see Williams runs hard also. So I don't have an issue with the 4th down calls. I don't have an issue with the one on the 30-yard line. Because in a game like this, in a game like that, every possession counts. And they were trying to build momentum to try to get some points on the board. And time was running out. It's 4th quarter. And you know that San Fran's going to get the ball. If they get the ball back, they're going to run the ball. And they're going to run the clock. So you had to take advantage of the situation that you had. And the 2 turnovers kind of forced his hand into that. Because when you give up, you lose possessions, you got to find a way to make one up or get it back. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way. Yeah, Allison. Yeah, San Fran, they're a better team. Like I said, they simplify their game plan. They know who they are. Kyle knows the plays that he wants to call. He knows the plays that are effective. He has go-to plays, and they run the same plays out of different formations, and that's why they're so effective. They have an identity. They know who they are. Kyle learned a lot being here, and he took it out there, and he's grown and gotten better as he's went out there. So, yeah, they're definitely a quality team. But I'm ready to go over the stats real quick because I know it's Christmas Eve and everybody want to relax with the family and try to get this loss off their mind. But like I say, they still in the playoff hunt. Still number 7 seed. Didn't lose any position. The teams behind us lost. Teams ahead of us lost. So everything is cool. So jump off, step back off the bridge, man. You ain't got to jump, man. You ain't got to jump. Going into the stats. Heineke, 13 for 18, 166 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 114.6 quarterback rating. Purdy, 15 for 22, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He had a 114.6 quarterback rating. Carson Wentz came in 12 for 16, 123 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions with a 117.4 quarterback rating. Running the ball, B-Rob, 22 carries, 58 yards, 2.6 yard average, no touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, 15 carries, 46 yards, 3.1 yard average, 1 touchdown. And receiving the ball, Terry McLaurin, 5 for 77, 19.3 yard average with 1 touchdown. George Kittle, 6 catches, 120 yards, 20 yard average with 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that pretty much says it all right there with Kittle having the game that he had. Yeah, honestly, we definitely can get these 2 wins. I mean, Dallas has definitely had something to play for because they're still fighting to see if they can win the division with them beating Philly today. And Cleveland, they're trying to get their act together. They have a quality defense. But I feel like this team can beat either one of them. We lost to Dallas early in the season with Wentz. We weren't running the ball as much, so I'm hoping that Scott carries over the running game along with Wentz, having a stronger arm and a better deep ball. Maybe we can stretch the field. But you got to run the ball to open a play-action game up to stretch the field. So it's all a cycle. It all works together. So it all comes down to Scott's play calling. Like I said, I wasn't really upset about his play calling this game. A lot of folks are. But you have to run against that team, against teams with a defensive line like ours. You saw what the Giants did the week before and what San Fran did. Quick passing game. Either you can do the quick passing game and do that for the most part, or you can try to run time of possession like the recipe that they've had for, the wins that they had. And unfortunately, they didn't execute. That's what I said. It came down to execution. San Fran executed when they had the opportunity, and the Commanders didn't. Simple as that. Let's see. I said I think we got Dallas at home. We normally split the season. I hope this year is the same. Yep, we had them at home last week of the season. Most likely everything on the line, depending on Seattle and Detroit if they, falter again. Because actually Detroit had the weakest schedule of us all in the wild card race, and they ended up losing today. So you never know. It's going to come down to the last week, just like we all know. Also, it was good to see all three wide receivers get a touchdown reception in the game. We haven't seen that in a long time. Terry, Jahan, and Samuel. It's a thin line between being pass happy and spreading the ball. And on the winning streak, Scott was working the balance perfectly. But with competition, with different teams, you have to switch up. And like I said, going up against a defense like this, you had very little margin for error. And unfortunately, they made a few errors, and the 49ers capitalized on it. That's what good teams do. That's what this team is trying to get to. That's where the Commanders are trying to go, to where the 49ers are. They're basically mirrors of each other. The 49ers are just further along in the process than the Commanders are. But that's where the team is trying to go to. And that's where Ron Rivera's vision is. So it looks, like I say, I don't look at it as a negative. We didn't lose any position in the wild card. We played tough. A couple of things didn't go our way. But for the most part, they played the quality game. I mean, they were a 10-point underdog. They lost by 17. Glad I didn't make that bet. I was going to make that bet, but glad I didn't. And any given Sunday, in this case, any given Saturday, any team can get beat. I was hopeful that they would be able to pull the upset, but like I said, execution was the key. Short week, not using that as an excuse. Short week, travel, all of that good stuff played into it. So, that might be why they weren't as crisp, weren't executing as well. But the 49ers were well rested, executed, played well, didn't make mistakes, didn't make bad penalties, and for the most part, didn't turn the ball over. They had one turnover with the interception. We had two delayed straight points for them. So it's a lot of things that went down in this game that need to get corrected, but got to whitewash it off. They on the plane, deal with it, watch the tape, and then get ready for Cleveland the following week. I'm going to go over the team stats, and then I'm about to get out of here because I'm about to go fix me something to eat. First downs, 49ers had 14, Commanders had 21. Third down conversions, the 49ers were 4 for 11. The Commanders were 7 for 13. Fourth downs, Commanders were 0 for 2. San Fran was 1 for 2. They got that one late in the fourth quarter when they went for it in the red zone. McCaffrey got his touchdown to make it 37. Rush yards, 49ers had 153. As I mentioned, you take that 71-yard run out, they only gave up 83 yards to him. So one bad fit, one bad read, and he was off to the races. And like I said, I felt like that was one of the major momentum swings in this game. The Commanders had 79 yards rushing. Passing, 49ers had 218. Commanders had 270. Total yards, 349 for the Commanders, 371 for the 49ers. In time of possession, Commanders had the ball for 33 minutes and 35 seconds. 49ers had it for 26 minutes and 25 seconds. Normally when you have the ball longer, but running the ball successfully, that's normally a recipe for winning. But like I said, there was some intangibles, turnovers, and lack of execution on some opportunities that the team had. And we are where we are, 7-1, going into the new year, playoffs on the line, have to win 2 out of 2, unless, like I say, the other teams choke, and then you win 1 out of 2, and then they're good. But you want to go into the playoffs on a winning note. Some folks talking about, they're going to go in there and get embarrassed, yada, yada, yada. Hey, y'all were complaining they didn't make the playoffs last year. Y'all were complaining they made the playoffs with a losing record and 7 wins. Now you see progress, and now you're talking about, we not going. Make up your mind, folks. Make up your mind. I'm tired of hearing it. Stop whining. Get another team or shut up. And that's my message right before Christmas. But what's up, Allison? Merry Christmas, YouTube. What's up, Brian? Merry Christmas. Yeah, I'm about to probably fix me a cocktail too, bro. I got my bottle right here. I'm about to take. I was taking a couple of shots during the game. I ain't even gonna lie. But Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all that other good stuff. I don't want to leave nobody out. And y'all enjoy. Be safe. No sports in the hill, yeah, as you figure, for the next 2 weeks. Yes, we'll be chilling for New Year's also. We'll do post-game, possibly pre-game. I'll see what things look like next Sunday, but possibly pre-game. And thanks for tuning in. You can go check out the website, sportsothp.com. Check out the YouTube channel, Carol Porter III, with 3 eyes, not the number 3. Make sure you go subscribe and hit the notifications button. Stay tuned. We got some big things coming 2023. We're actually, working on getting some things legitimized, if that's a real word, and be moving forward with some of the things I've been telling y'all that's that we've been on the lookout for. Yeah, 2023 gonna be that year. So, as always, appreciate y'all checking me out. DC Sports are the politics. It's not just a catchphrase. It's not just a motto. It's what we do. CP3, live from the lab, and I'm out. See you in 2023.